Hi, welcome to Mommas and Mannies. I'm your host, Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and share this with another mama that survived the cold weather around the country. But before we get started, let's go ahead and start off with our motivational quote, mantra, whatever you want to call it. I think this one's actually a good motivational quote. It's from Sheryl Sandberg, and the quote is, "Done is better than perfect." I think this is a great quote. It says, if you don't know who Sheryl Sandberg is, she used to be like an executive at Facebook for a while, long time. Then she stopped working there. I actually don't know where she went after she left Facebook, but she's an author, philanthropist, great woman. I know she wrote a book after she left Facebook, and I cannot remember the name of the book. Hold on, now it's going to be bothering me. Oh, here we go. Oh, it was Lean In Women. I don't know. That was the popular book that she ended up writing. It looks like it's called Lean In. So that was a very popular book, great advice. And the quote is basically saying, done is better than perfect, which means a lot of times we will put things off until things are perfect. Whatever that looks like to you. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z until A, B, and C is done. And then you end up never getting it done. So what she's saying is, even though X, Y, and Z may not be together, maybe you just have X. Go ahead and get it done with X. At least it's done. And then you can go back to it, work on it if you need to. I would say perfection stops a lot of people. Once you're able to let perfection go, you can get a lot more things done. Just in life, around the house, think about it. If you're trying to clean up something, organize something, Amazon, that's the good thing and the bad thing about Amazon. You can order everything just about on Amazon. So if you want to organize your spice cabinet, but you're like, okay, I got to order the jars for it. Okay, now I need labels. Oh, these labels don't look good. I need a different color. I want a different font. Then it's like 3 months go by and your spices are just still sitting there, not organized. So that's just one example. You can think of plenty on and on that will definitely keep you from not doing things. So remember this, done is better than perfect. That's by Sheryl Sandberg. But guess what time it is? It's mama time. This week's mama time, I am going to actually just give an update of the ice storm that was here in Metro Atlanta a few weeks ago. The week before the storm, I did an episode and I was saying, they were predicting, they didn't know if it was going to be snow, rain, but they knew for sure it was going to be cold weather. And they knew for sure it was going to be raining. And that wasn't a good combination. So it was either going to be one of three things: sleet, or one of four probably: sleet, freezing rain, regular rain, or snow. And then they didn't know, depending on how cold it got and how long it stayed around, if it was going to be really bad ice. So as I mentioned in the episode a few weeks ago, I did have to stay at work because it happened on the weekend. The same thing happened around the same time last year, which is so funny. I remember the week of MLK, we had snow on a Tuesday because my kids didn't go back after MLK. And then last year we had snow, I think like 2 weeks before that, because they didn't go back from Christmas break either. So the first time last year, it happened on the weekend. I think it happened on a Friday. I had to stay over Friday night to Saturday. It was fine Saturday because it really didn't stick. I went home Saturday, no problem. This year, it happened. Initially, they were saying on Friday, it was supposed to be cold, rain, freezing rain, all that good stuff. And then they changed it, got a little bit closer. It was like, okay, it's going to start raining Saturday morning. Then they changed it again. Okay, it's not going to start raining till Saturday at noon. Then it changed again, of course, because this is weather, Mother Nature. It didn't start raining, I don't think, until about 5 o'clock, maybe 6, depending on where you live at in Metro Atlanta, until about 6 Saturday. So really, because it was warm the week before, and it was probably about, I think about 40 something or something like that on Friday. It was really no threat of ice. It was rain and it was getting cold. So that was Saturday night into Sunday. No problem. Now, what ended up happening, depending on where you live at, like North Georgia, Hall County, where Helen is, Forsyth, I think like Gwinnett, definitely Athens. Athens, I couldn't tell if that was snow, ice. For sure it was ice because they did coverage all day long, Saturday, all day long, Sunday, and probably into Monday. Thankfully, I was able to leave work on Sunday night. So I'm not sure if they were still doing weather coverage then. But Sunday morning, was it Sunday? No, I can't remember. But in the morning, they were showing Athens got hit really bad. Like I said, Hall County. Just some places got more ice than others. But one thing I noticed, so what happened, it ended up raining. It got colder that night. And then what ended up happening was it started raining again because I think it rained all day Sunday. No matter where the news reporter was, people were driving on the road. Because I told myself before I left Friday, I was like, look, it looks like the rain should be done on Sunday. So Sunday evening, I'm going home. I hope the roads are great. I hope everything's good. I'm going to go home because my kids, I knew most likely they probably would be out of school on Friday. So I was like, I want to be home Monday. And no matter where it was at, Helen or Hall County, maybe I didn't see anybody in Athens, but I did see people walking around on the, just out and about. They had people driving. They did footage from Flat Shoals Road in Decatur. They did footage from Midtown. They had footage in Gwinnett, Roswell, Marietta. It was always a car on the road. So I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, yes, that means I can get up out of here Sunday when I get off work. Yes, it had stopped raining. The temperature, I think by that time, it probably was still about 30 something. So I was like, okay, it's above freezing. It was definitely above freezing during the day. Not that much sun, looked really horrible, gloomy outside. But I was like, I am going to be able to get home on Sunday evening. I was so excited. Long story short, I was able to get home Sunday. I actually left at about 5 so I could try to beat the sun, making sure I was trying to beat sunset, which I did. I think I got home probably shortly, maybe 10 or 15 minutes after the sun went down. So that was a good thing. Everything was good. Definitely south of where I work at. It was good. It was actually warm, no problems. By the airport, it was good. I know the airport canceled a lot of flights just because a lot of the other parts of the country, because I think the storm system went all the way like through Mexico, Texas, all the states in between. Then it kind of raised and went up the East Coast. So it was a lot of places that still had a lot of ice, snow, things like that, and damage. A lot of people lost power. I don't think as many people lost power here in Georgia as they expected, which is a good thing, especially in the areas where you had more colder temperatures. That led to ice. And like they continually said, ice on trees don't mix because it weighs the trees down, causes limbs to break off, trees to fall down if it's not really a healthy tree, or if the tree is kind of, like a smaller tree, it can cause them to break off and actually, cause power to be out. This is probably one of the few times during the storm we have not lost power at our house. I was very happy because it was cold. Even though we did buy a generator just to be sure, because they were saying so much on the news. They were like, this is going to be a historic storm. Make sure you get your food. Make sure you gas up your vehicle, charge all your electronics, which is great advice. No problem. I think all of that is good. Even if it's like hot hurricane season, if you are expecting, if it's tornado season where you live at, just like how we had snow and ice, that is just great advice altogether. I know that week I was putting up, sharing posts where people were sharing storm things like what to do before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. That way everyone is safe. Mamas and her families have things maybe that you haven't thought about to get prepared for the storm. You can definitely think about that. So I'm not saying it's a such thing as being over prepared, which I don't think so. When it comes to a storm and it's a possibility your power may go out, I think you should be over prepared. Because like I said, usually our power goes out. And we didn't have any power outages, which was really, really good. I think two of my coworkers, their power did go out. They live in Gwinnett. So they got hit a little bit harder as far as with ice. So probably those tree limbs and twigs. But I will just say, just to back up, I had stayed at work before, and it's actually not that bad. It's not the best thing either. It's not like staying in a hotel, but it's doable. I work at a hospital that's big enough. We have a lot of offices behind us. We're kind of like the main hospital. So we have offices in a lot of doctors. So they have offices at our hospital. So, we can stay in their office. I brought my air mattress. I made sure I bought a nice comforter, a fitted sheet to go over the air mattress, like a top sheet, a blanket, everything I need, because you never know how cold it's going to be in the office. Got my cozy pajamas, socks. You want to make sure you bring all your toiletries. And one of the great things about our hospital, we have a gym, we have locker rooms. So it's plenty of places to go ahead and take a shower. And they were well prepared. So they already had like the blanket sets. If you didn't have linens, they would provide that for you, as well as, now they didn't provide a pillow, but they provided an air mattress. I don't think they did cots, or you could stay in like an exam room. So that's one of the great things about having a large hospital. You have plenty of places to stay. Like I said, again, it's not like a hotel, but it's better than, having to try to go back and forth home, and you never know what the road conditions are going to be like. They also give us free 2 meals a day, which is good. And for us, we got water, which is not bad either. And I'm trying to think, and depending on where you work, as far as like pay on top of that, really depends on where you work. It ranges depending on the hospital system as well as the county that you work in. So we survived the ice storm. I think it was still cold the remainder of that week. It may have warmed up the following week. That was about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not really sure. But still, I know you're probably thinking it. Leave your comments below in the comment box, because I would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're somewhere where they told you it was going to be bad and it ended up not being bad. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. How did you over prepare? Because I think a lot of people I know, they ended up probably buying too many groceries, because so again, that's not a bad thing, especially if you're buying food that's going to last a little bit longer. You can put it in the freezer, pop it in the refrigerator. You have that food. So now you don't have to go shopping maybe for the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's good too. I would love to hear, did you guys play a game that you hadn't played in a long time with your family? Did did you actually stay home, or do you work at a job? Because I know hospital workers, of course, if you work for like the power company or other utility companies, they probably made you work extra. I would love to hear that. Would love to hear if you have some tips, especially people that are in areas that are affected by heavy snow all the time. Like when I lived in Michigan, I'll never forget, because I'm from Augusta. And we probably had snow maybe like, I can count on my hand how many times it snowed in Augusta when I was growing up. So the first snow of the season when I was in Michigan and even in Kentucky, because I was in Kentucky before I was in Michigan. It snowed. They forecasted snow. People still go to the store, even in places where it snows on a regular basis, just because, first of all, it's cold. You don't know what the traffic's going to be like. And you don't know if your kids are going to be out of school, because even in these places, kids are still out of school. But the first day it snowed, I'll never forget this. People just were driving like normal. The snow trucks come out. They shovel, not shovel, what's it called? They salt, brine, they move, snow plow, that's what it's called. They plow the snow to the side so you know not to get in that lane, because that lane's basically going to be blocked off full of snow. And people kept moving. And I can't, the first day it snowed, I left my apartment later and I called them. I was like, oh, it's snowing. I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to get in. It was no problem. But it's just funny because you see people that are used to snow, they just keep going. They make sure they have their tires, or you make sure, like if you have a garage or a carport, you park under that so you don't have to worry about defrosting your windows, things like that. Just, I would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, what you do, what you don't do. Did you laugh when you saw people in the store with a whole bunch of food and stuff like that because you knew it wasn't going to be that crazy? I would really love to know what your thoughts are. So follow us on our social media platforms, our YouTube channel, Everything's Mommas and Mannies. Join our Patreon, same name. We have 2 tiers you can join. Would love to have you. And remember that me time is essential and it is never selfish. Stay warm.